won't none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ the Tar Heel. And in this episode, we're going to talk about this new ACC scheduling format that just came out. And I want to talk about how it impacts the North Carolina Tar Heels. But first, if you haven't already, okay, if you love the North Carolina Tar Heels, if you love college football, do me a favor, hit that like button. Do that right after you subscribe to the channel, and then make sure that you share this content to all your other Carolina and college football friends, man. If you want to know what's going on inside Carolina football and Carolina basketball, this is going to be a great place for you to come and just get the opinion of another Carolina fan. Even if you're not a Carolina fan, even if you're my rival, even if you're a Wolfsack fan or a Pile of Duke fan, hey, consider sharing, and subscribing to the content, man. You know what they say, you can't know your enemy too well. So without further ado, let's get into this scheduling format. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really can't stand this. I can't stand the addition of Cal and Stanford and SMU. It makes no sense. I know that everybody's saying we've been behind the power curve as far as, the ACC expansion. But, if you want to pull in Notre Dame, which I know is really difficult, hey, I get that. If you want to pull in somebody that's more regional that makes sense, hey, I get that. But good night. Cal and Stanford and SMU, it's not sexy. It doesn't move the needle. It doesn't make any sense. And I just don't like it. But here we are. 2024, we're going to have a 17-team league. And, we're going to have to stinking navigate through this mathematical equation to see who we play, when we play, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to talk about that very briefly. So the new schedule will continue with no divisions. It'll feature 17 schools, obviously, and it will increase the number of annual conference matchups from 56 to 68. So the top two teams, once again, with the highest winning percentages in conference, they will compete on the first Saturday of every December for the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, one of the things I wanted to preface while we're sitting here looking at this and talking about it is the fact that a lot of people are ticked off because, as we'll see here shortly, they had to go through and, talk about protected matchups, right? So North Carolina got 3. Duke got 3. I think NC State got 3. Wake Forest got 3. And a lot of people are upset about that. And this is what you got to understand, guys. The ACC runs through Tobacco Road. Whether you like that or not is irrelevant. It's always been that way, and we control this thing. We are daddy. That's who we are, and we get what we want. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what happens. When North Carolina says, hey, this is our criteria, you know what? That's the criteria. And I'll tell you why, especially from North Carolina's point of view. It's the biggest brand. We're talking about encompassing all sports. I'm not saying it's the best football program. I'm not even saying it's the best basketball program, which obviously I believe that it is. It is. But the brand of North Carolina is it's the biggest brand in the ACC. So naturally, you know what? They're going to get what they want. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. And the Tobacco Road goes as North Carolina goes. So a lot of people are really ticked off about that. But let's go into those 16 matchups. 11 are retained from the current 3-5-5 schedule, which we're on right now. But obviously that's going away. So they got Miami, Virginia Tech. It's good to see that one come back. NC State and Wake Forest. I don't give a rip because I can't stand the Wolfsack. And then you got the 3 new schools, which fill the remaining 3. So they're going to play each other, which once again, I don't know how that does anything, especially SMU in the equation. Now, North Carolina gets Virginia, Duke, and NC State every single year. That makes complete sense. That's exactly what we would want. And we got what we wanted. And so I'm glad at least that we're not completely getting rid of our regional rivals. You know, we need to play Duke, State, and Virginia every single year. The ACC knows that. It's just natural. It's good for college football. It's good for us. And we got it. So what you need to know, there's no division still. There's still 17 league teams that'll play each other at least twice in 7 years, 68 games, conference games, and then we'll move into this the schedule. So you see North Carolina, it doesn't affect us very much in 2024. We play Georgia Tech, State, Pitt, Wake Forest at home, and we'll play Boston College, Duke, Florida State, and Virginia away. Completely fine with that. Looks like a good schedule to me. It doesn't affect the North Carolina Tar Heels, so I am completely good with 2024. Now, as we go down to 2025, we'll see that this is when it kind of actually starts affecting the Heels, right? Because in 2025, guess where we got to go? Let's go ahead and look at it. We got to go to Cal. NC State, Syracuse, Wake Forest away. But that Cal game, going to Berkeley does not move. We don't recruit there. We're hardly ever going to get any players from California. It's going to be some weird time that we got to play at. I just don't like it. I get nightmares of when Nathan Elliott was throwing swing passes out there a couple of years back, and we were absolutely atrocious. Couldn't move the football for nothing in our opening game, and I just don't like playing Cal. But at least we got Clemson at home, Duke at home. Stanford comes to Chapel Hill once again. Okay, and then we got Virginia and Charlottesville. So, it's just, you kind of got to take this stuff with a grain of salt, man. I really just don't like the whole California move, if you will. 2026, North Carolina has Louisville, Miami, NC State, and Syracuse at home. Fine with it. Clemson, Duke, Pitt, and Virginia away. Fine with it. Completely fine with it. One thing that I don't like about this is that we don't play Miami every year. I want to play Miami. I want to play Georgia Tech every year. Those are the teams that I want to play every year as well. And they're taking that away from us. We don't play Miami every year. And so that actually kind of stinks a little bit, man, because I like playing the Canes. I like going down to Miami. And I like when they come to Chapel Hill. So 2027, Carolina plays Duke, Florida State, Virginia Tech at home. Great. Georgia Tech, NC State, at Stanford, at Wake Forest. Once again, I don't want to have to go to California and play Stanford. It's not sexy. 2028, North Carolina's got BC, which I don't like playing them. NC State, Stanford at home, Wake Forest, Duke, Florida State, SMU, and Virginia. We're going to Texas, get to play in Dallas, man. That's all cool and everything, but once again, it's SMU. It seems like a non-conference game that you would play as your first game of the season or something. I just don't like it, guys. So North Carolina's got to play in 2029, Cal, Clemson, Duke, Virginia at home, and then they play Louisville, Miami, NC State, and at Virginia Tech. Hey, I like it. Don't have any problems with that one whatsoever. Now, the 2030 season, North Carolina plays Miami, NC State, SMU at home, Virginia Tech, but then they got to go all the way back out there to stinking Berkeley. And then they get to play in Death Valley, Duke, and Virginia. So once again, man, just like the trip to California is just, it really gets on my stinking nerves, man. I don't like it. It's not sexy. I can't say that enough, and it just, I don't like the addition of these three schools. It just jacks everything up. It was pretty good with a 3-3-5. I thought that was about as good as you can get it. And then you add these three just random schools that just jack everything up. And you can see that by looking at the scheduling model. So North Carolina plays Boston College. This is every 7 years. North Carolina will play BC twice. Fine with it. They play Cal 3 times. Hate it. Clemson 4 times. Love it. Duke 7 times. Of course, I love that. It should be an annual game. Florida State 3 times. Georgia Tech 2 times. Louisville 2 times. And Miami 3 times. The ones that I don't like there, I want to play Miami and Georgia Tech as often as possible. Then it shows that we got NC State 7 times. Perfect. Then we play Pitt twice, fine with it. SMU twice, fine with it. Stanford 3 times, ugh. Syracuse 2 times, I'm fine with it. Virginia 7 times, great. Virginia Tech 3 times, why? Why would we not play Virginia Tech more than that? And then Wake Forest 4 times. So this is just a really just confusing, just ugly conference schedule, man. And I hate it. You know what I like? I like when we had 9 teams. Let's get rid of the stinking Syracuse and Boston College and Pitt. Let's get rid of all those knuckleheads, and let's bring back Maryland. All right. Let's just go with the original 9 again, dude. And we'll just play each other. Every team plays every team, and may the best 2 teams win and go to the stinking conference championship. It's simple. You get to play everybody. But here it's just this, jambalaya of, teams that you get to play. And I think that what's going to transpire here is you're going to have annually, you're not going to get the 2 best teams, because some teams are naturally going to have a easier schedule and some teams are going to have a harder schedule. It's so much different than just every team plays every team and the best 2 teams play for an ACC championship game. So that's one of the things that I don't like about this whole thing. So let me know what you think about in the comment section, man. Do you like the new schedule? Do you like the 3 teams that we brought in here? Does it move the needle for you all? Or are you like me, where you crave these regional battles? People that you run into at the grocery store, people that you run into when you're traveling a state over to go visit something or something. That's what I want to see. I can't remember the last time I ran into a Cal, Stanford, or good night, a SMU fan. I don't know where they're at. So, I don't like it. I don't like the teams that we've added, but that's just my 2 cents, man. Like I said, leave a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this new schedule. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.